Hi, I'm Kari Samuels, your intuitive counselor and happiness coach with your March forecast. And March is a month of miracles. This is one of the most spiritually rich, soulfully nourishing months of the entire year, if not the most. March 2016 is a 12 universal month in numerology. And 12 is associated with the planet Neptune, which is one of the co-rulers of Pisces. And 12 reduces to the number 3, which is all about expressing what's deep in your heart, your heart's desires, your feelings, your deeply held emotions. It's all about expressing that. And Neptune, of course, is associated with water because Neptune is the god of water, right? And there's so much water in our chart this month. There is water everywhere. Now, the element of water is associated with the soul and the spirit and your intuition and your emotions. It's your divine feminine. Water is a very spiritual energy because it's what connects us all. It's renewing. And the thing about water is it's always moving forward. It can cleanse your soul, and this is the energy that can have you moving ahead towards your destiny, towards fulfilling your heart's desire in such a huge way. And water is very magnetic. So when you have so much water in our chart right now, when there's so much of that, it's about this Piscean energy of being connected to everyone, about being connected to source, being connected to intuition. And Neptune is associated with dreams and imagination and intuition and of course the soul. So there's so much of that right now. The thing about this number 12, it's all about letting go. Letting go and letting God, right? So there must be something in you that has to release. Some parts of your ego, some intentions that you have that aren't serving your highest purpose, that aren't serving your soul. There's a reversal now because as you're letting go and letting spirit guide you, you're going to be taken to more toward your destiny than what you ever thought was possible. It's that energy of water. If you've ever been floating on the water and you're just floating, and then all of a sudden you look up and you're like a mile away from where you were before, but you didn't have to work, you didn't have to do anything, you were just floating and letting the water carry you. Well, that is the energy of this month. Because as you let go and surrender to what your greater purpose is, to what your intuition and the voice of your soul is calling you to, you're going to be carried to a greater place. But it doesn't need to be hard. The hard part is learning how to let go and trust that you're more secure listening to the greater vision of what Source has for you than the smaller vision of what your ego expected and thought. It's so exciting. Now this energy of water, your emotions, that's really what magnetizes everything to you. And so you're going to be getting more in touch with your emotions this month than really in a very long time. There's a lot of emotionally charged energy, and the more you've buried your emotions, the more they're going to come to the surface. It's inevitable. But the more true you are to yourself, to what your heart is telling you, to where you're being guided, the more true you are to that, really spectacular things can happen for you. Truly, this can be a month of miracles. And remember, it's your emotions that draw things to you, because when you think something, you're feeling it. And that's really what the law of attraction is about. That is when you attract positive people and circumstances to you, when you're in a vibration, in alignment, emotionally aligned with your higher purpose. We're in Pisces for most of the month through the 20th, and there's a lot of Pisces this month. On the 5th, Mercury, our planet of communication and the mind, goes into Pisces. And then Venus on the 12th goes into Pisces. So Venus is about the heart. So this is really about connecting your mind and your heart with something greater than you, with your greater vision. It's really powerful. But what is the most potent energy of this entire month, and again, possibly the entire year, is our eclipses. Yes, we begin our eclipse season this month. Eclipses are always 2 weeks apart. And eclipses always bring up buried, unconscious, subconscious emotions and dreams and visions. They're super powerful. And so the 2 weeks between our solar eclipse, which is on March 8th, and our lunar eclipse, which is on March 23rd, those 2 weeks are super potent. They're very emotionally charged. They're spiritually charged, and they're soulfully charged as well. So it's really exciting. So we have on March 8th or March 9th, depending on where you live in the world, there is a solar eclipse supermoon. So this is such an amazing day. Whatever you do, make this day special. It's a new moon, and new moons are always a very powerful time for planting the seeds of your intentions that you want to manifest. Now, because this is a solar eclipse, it's exponentially more powerful. Think about it. It's that the moon getting in between the sun and the earth, and it causes this darkness where you have to look within, and then this illumination, this flash of light and brilliance. It's a restart. It can be a restart of your entire life. Solar eclipses tend to be somewhat fateful when you meet people in your life or form relationships in your life that are going to benefit you for possibly the rest of your life, if not the year. They're very, very strong. And now the supermoons, when the moon is closest to the earth, it magnetizes that energy. There's a stronger gravitational, emotional, and spiritual pull. This is like a larger than life energy. So make this month a total reset about what you want to do to start living your dreams and fulfilling your heart's desire. Now remember, there's a reversal. So if you've been doing one thing, maybe it's time to do another thing. And it can be scary because you might need to let go of what you've been holding on to that you felt was your security, but the universe is going to keep guiding you towards something bigger and better. So get ready for something bigger and better and expect it. That new moon eclipse is in Pisces. So all that energy around spiritual energy and really what's soulful for you and your soul purpose, that is going to be illuminated during that new moon solar eclipse. Now the full moon eclipse on March 23rd, also a very special day. Full moons are also a time when things come to light for you, and there's a reset as well where you're adjusting whether your soul's intention and your intentions that you've created are in alignment, and that becomes illuminated. Your feelings become illuminated. Your dreams become illuminated. Now that is in our sun's going to be in Aries and the moon is going to be in Libra. So this is really going to illuminate your needs versus the needs of others, and whether or not you're really paying attention to and putting yourself first. Because by the time that lunar eclipse comes, we're going to be finishing up with all this Piscean dreamy energy where you have a chance to really connect with your soul and your spirit and that spiritual intuitive energy. And then when we have that reset, March 20th, when there's spring, Aries is when the whole zodiac begins again. This is new energy, and then we're going to have a lot of fire in the last third of the month. And fire is when you really get to take charge and initiate and start to do and believe in and act on your dreams. So you're really going to have the majority of the month to fine-tune what your dreams are and to make those connections, and then it's full speed ahead at the end of the month. It is so exciting. So I have 3 essential steps for you to navigate this spiritual energy so that you can really, really ride those waves and find yourself in another place. The first thing is, dare to dream big. This isn't a time to play small right now. This is a time to expand your energy. Remember, Pisces is like the ocean. How big can you get? Dare to dream. Make your expectations bigger than they ever were. You can always cut back on the practicality later. That's what next month is for, okay? But right now, let your imagination expand. Let your feelings expand. And imagine your ultimate lifestyle, your ultimate dreams coming to fruition. Imagine that and really feel what that's like. And then embody that energy as much as you can. Remember what it feels like as you're imagining it, as great as you can possibly dream. and really take note of how you feel while you're doing that. And as you start to embody that energy, you will magnetize that energy. So you want to practice being that energy as much as you possibly can. And remember, you don't need to figure out all the steps and how to get there. You need to let spirit carry you there, just like you're floating, right? But this isn't a time of like floating on a gentle little brook or whatever. This is a rushing river. There's a lot of energy that's going to take you right now if you let it. So allow yourself to be carried by spirit with big dreams, because your life can be so much bigger and better than you're allowing yourself. Now, that doesn't mean you aren't supposed to take action. It means that you don't need to figure out all the minutia along the way. Take the next step towards fulfilling your dream as you dare to expand what that is. Now, the second thing I really would like to emphasize, because there's so much emotional energy now and there's going to be a lot coming to the surface, is to express what's in your heart. So that means express your creativity, whatever's been buried in there that you've been pushing away. If it's a dream of doing something, or if it's feelings that you haven't expressed, you really, really want to make sure you're expressing them now. Because oftentimes we don't say things because we want to protect other people, especially healers and sensitive souls. There's something that we always do that says, you know what? If I tell you how I really feel, or if I share what's really going on in my heart with you, it might be too much for your fragile self to take. Even though you're sensitive, you think everybody else is more fragile than you, and you could take it. So I'm going to protect you from what I'm feeling because I don't think that you can handle the change in your life. Well, you know what? That is not going to work anymore. It's so important that you share what's in your heart and be very truthful, because it's going to come up anyway. And if you want to make some changes, again, this is the time to take action about making the changes so that you can start expressing the dreams that are in your heart. Now, the third thing is to follow your intuition. Now, what do I mean by this? Because your intuition is going to be guiding you step by step. So again, you don't need to know ahead of time every single step before you take it, but you do want to know the next step and the next step. And you probably have a vision that you've been given, a dream, a desire about where you want to go. That's your destiny. That's where this river is taking you. That's where the current is taking you, right? So you want to follow guidance about that step by step, because it's an intuitive practice to learn how to trust these visions and this guidance in the present moment without knowing everything ahead of time. So as you follow each guided vision in that moment, you'll be guided to the next moment and the next moment and the next moment, and pretty soon you're going to be exactly where you want to be. Now, or actually even better. But what we tend to do is we get a vision and we get really inspired, and then our rational mind says, oh no, that is not possible. And so we start to get stressed and worry about, well, if I do this, then this is going to fall apart. And if I do this, then this is going to fall apart. But what's so much more powerful if you say, well, this feels good. So if I take this step, does that still feel good? Do I still feel expanded and inspired? Okay, then that's my next step. That's all you need to know. You don't need to start going, well, this is going to fall. You just don't do it. You're going to scramble your intuition. Just follow what is feeling good and feeling inspired every moment, in the present moment, step by step, and you'll be like in some magical place. So I hope that this has inspired you to make the most of this magical energy that we have this March. And if you've enjoyed this video, please share it with your friends. I know they will appreciate you for it. And I want to hear what you're doing to listen to your intuition that you may have been scared about, but that you're really feeling inspired about. So leave a comment below. I know we're all going to benefit from it, and we can cheer each other on, because this Pisces energy is all about being connected. So I am wishing you a magical, beautiful March full of miracles and then some. Lots of love. Bye for now.